Hello everybody, this is Mrs. Schaefer and I wanted to walk you through the 2.06 phase change lab. So the first thing you'll want to do is go into content, and then on the left side of the page you can use these tabs. We are in Unit 2, Chapter 2, and then Lesson 6. So when you click on that, on the right side of the page, you'll see the readings and the information you need. So click on the first part and it will give you you do want to go through and read this. You can see that it talks about what the lab is. This is where you see the student guide. And then it will also talk about phase change and what you'll be doing for investigations. There is the video, so I'm going to open that up right now since I'm here, and then I'll go back in. And the other thing that you'll need is the lab report. So that's right here. So if you click on this link right there, it will open up the original, which is viewable only. Here's the lab report, and what you're going to do is hit File, Download as a Word document. And as that opens up, you'll see that you will need to click the Enable, and then you can add your name onto the page. And then do a File, Save As. I recommend you put this in your physical science folder and not in the downloads. So you could do this PC, and then you can place it right on in your physical science folder. And then I recommend that you also at the end rename it with your last name, and then when you click save, it will be saved right where you want it to be. So there's the lab. The first thing it says, it tells you to answer the questions, and when you're finished, submit the lab to the teacher by the due date for full credit. And then it says, for instructions and helps, please click here. So you want to use that link there to help you out, because the instructions are here. The walkthrough video will be placed here. Right now I'm making it, so it's not there, but you have the video, the instructions, and the lab report along with the student guide. So you're going to want to click on these directions to help you go through the lab. This is just like a quick view. It gives you hints and helps all through the lab. And we want to go back to that lab report for a second. Usually the first part of the lab is answering questions about what we've been covering, just to warm us up and show us what we need to look for in the lab. So when we go back to these instructions, you can see our main idea or purpose is to recognize that a change from one form of matter to another involves a gain or a loss of energy. And then we have the information we need. We want to answer the first 3 questions, and then before we watch the video, we want to glance at the questions 4 through 9 to get an idea of the information we're looking for. So you can use the word walls to help you. And there's also some sentence starters for you for each of these questions, and the helps or hints that you can use if you're not quite sure what to answer. And then what you'll go in and do is watch the video that's in the course. So I showed you that. That was in, if you can't remember where, it's in the 2.06 under the Investigations tab. So if you click on here, you will see that it's on page 2. You just click on that video. It opens you up to another area. You might have to enable your Flash player depending on what browser you're using. So you're just going to click on that and allow and play the video through. Then you'll go back to your lab and it says that you need to provide some data. Well, you'll see that the video gives you some of that information, but so does the student guide. That's why we needed to have the student guide there. So we need to think, what's the independent variable? What's the dependent variable? We need to understand what those are, so you'll want to label those. And then you'll use the student guide to, they've given you a chart here. You can compare this with this, and then you're going to fill in the blanks at, 0 temperatures, 15 minutes in at 0 temperature. What is the state of matter? And then you're going to just fill all of those in. Then you're going to take this data and you're going to graph it. If you don't remember or are not sure how to graph this information, there's helps on the toolkit in the lab's helps page. You do have to do some things here. You want to make sure that you have a title for your graph. You're going to plot the data, and then what you need to do with this that's slightly different is you need to use different colors or symbols and a key to represent the different states of matter. So in other words, you need to tell me when the material is solid, liquid, or gas, or both in between. Sometimes it could be solid and liquid. Sometimes it could be liquid and gas, but you're going to label that in this chart. Then you have some questions to answer that will be using the data to help you with the conclusion. So you'll want to check your data to answer the questions. And then you'll create that conclusion. We need to see what we learned in the lab. Here's a starter. It's an example for you. You don't have to use this, but you do have to have all the pieces in there. You need to restate your hypothesis, explain if your data is going to support your hypothesis or not, and then use data from the data chart as your evidence. So you're providing evidence of why your hypothesis is correct or incorrect. Then the last question is thinking again. This is just an extension of the conclusion. It's just broken down into different pieces so we're sure that we get this idea about what is required to bring about a phase change. And where does the energy go when it's not rising or raising the temperature? So we're adding in energy, so where is it going? Because we don't see it on the thermometer. So here's some sentence starters for you. Remember that you want to write in complete sentences, and there are 3 parts to this question, so you need at least 3 sentences to answer that correctly. When you're finished, you're going to save and submit the lab. I hope that helped you. If you have any questions, please be sure to attend help sessions or tutoring sessions or email so that you can get the help that you need. Have a great day, and we will see you next time.